What's going on, guys? It's your boy Zero Capital bringing you some team deathmatch on the map Drive-In using the Mac 11, aka the stapler gun. And you guys seem to really enjoy it when I use this weapon, and I find it fitting that I'm using it on this map. You know, drive-in, drive-by, goes hand in hand. I don't know. Anyways, though, today's commentary is going to be about this concert experience that I had. And I was with a bunch of friends, you know. I talked about them in a previous commentary. They're in a band. One of them is a drummer, and his musical inspiration or musical muse at the time was Blink-182, and he wanted us to go with him to a concert, or their concert, and it was going to be the first time that he was going to see them live. So he was like super excited. He's like, the Ataris are opening, Simple Plan's going to be playing, and at the time I really liked the Ataris, and I still do. San Dimas High School Rocks is a really great song. If you haven't heard it, I'll put the link in the description. So we decided to go, and we roll through, you know, we take the train, go to New York City, we go to Roseland Ballroom, which is a really great venue if you haven't been there, and it's super packed. And we get there actually 40 minutes before the show's even going to start, because my friend was like, if we miss 1 minute, I'm going to cut all of you. I'm going to kill you guys. No, he did say something like that. He didn't say he would cut us, though. So we get there, and he's like jumping up and down, jumping up and down. I'm like, dude, conserve your energy, man. They're not even on stage yet. I'm actually looking around, and no one's even close to as excited as he is. And he had like a bunch of stuff with him, a backpack, a jacket, and a bottle of water. And he's like, yo, we gotta find a place to put this stuff so I could, you know, go crazy during the show. And there's actually a stage, or a shorter stage next to us, and it was the VIP stage. There's a bunch of people there, they're drinking beers, they're chilling. And there's a chick there, and he's like, should I ask her to see if we could put our stuff there? And he didn't ask her, so I had to ask her. I asked her, and she asked me, who you guys here to see? And my friend was obviously paying attention. He goes, Blink-182, yeah! And he's like freaking out. She's like, alright, hell yeah. And so she let us put the stuff there, and we put it at the foot of the stage. Really cool, you know, she was super chill. And we enjoyed the show. It was actually really good. I had a good time. And we walk out, you know, when you're done with a concert, you're tired, you're sweaty, you're hungry, thirsty. So we walk down the street to this McDonald's, and we end up getting a Big Mac, fries, and a big drink, like super sized, you know. And I'm walking out sipping my cola, chilling, and we actually decided to walk around the city a little bit because it's still pretty early in the evening, and our train didn't leave till, I don't even know what time, but it didn't leave till a whiles away, so we were gonna chill. And this dude just grabs my hand randomly, and when someone does that in public and you don't know them, you're like, what the fuck, get away from me. So that's exactly what I did. And he grabs my hand again, but like he like clutches it this time like really hard, gets on one knee, and he goes, sir, you're my Lord and my Savior. Can you spare some change so I could buy a cheeseburger? I'm so hungry. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? There's all these people around you. You know, it's New York City, and it's the city that never sleeps. There's people walking around all the time. I'm with a group of like 6 to 7 people, and why don't you ask them? And he asked me, and I'm the kind of guy when like the people like that like proposition you for money, and I don't want to say no, and it's even harder to say no when there's actually change jingling in my pocket. So I gave him $1. I felt really bad. And he's like, please sir, I just want a cheeseburger. I'm like, what the fuck? To this day I still remember that so clearly. And he goes to my friend who's the drummer and who was like really into Blink-182. He does the same thing kind of, and my friend gave him $5. And the dude just looks at the money in his hand. He doesn't even go in the McDonald's. Not one step toward the McDonald's. He just hightails it, Olympic track runner style, right down to the liquor store down the street. And we see him walking out with like 440s. We're like, God damn it. So we end up hanging out. We go home, whatever. A couple days later, my friend comes up to us and he goes, dude, you know who that girl was that let us put the stuff on the stage? And we're like, who? You know, he's like so excited again. And we're like, what are you talking about? That was Mark Hoppus' girlfriend. And like I said, you know, he was super fan. Mark Hoppus, super fan 99, you know. #1 fan, like super fan. And she spilled beer all over his jacket. And he was actually complaining during the concert or after the concert about this. But he was like, oh my god, that beer she spilled is awesome. And we're like, how is that awesome? Well, he kind of goes into this like weird logic. Okay, bear with me with this one. He goes, well, you know, her saliva's in the beer, right? And she blew Mark Hoppus before the show, so by correlation, his jizz was in that beer because it was in her saliva, which means it's on my jacket, which means it's awesome. And he's like freaking out over this. Crazy guy. Crazy. And we're like, what the fuck, dude? Don't go around telling people that. That's weird. And he's like, I'm never washing this jacket again. It's so cool. And to this day, I know he still has the jacket. I don't know if he's since washed it. If he hasn't washed it, it's in a glass case somewhere. I don't know, man. Crazy story, right? So, the moral of that story is put your stuff on the stage so you can get beer spilled on it. So it's a collector's item. There's really no moral. I don't know, man. I don't know why I decided to tell that story. I just thought that whole ending part was like the punchline, I guess, was super funny. Anyways, this gameplay is wrapping up. There's 2 more kills left. I think I get a kill here. I'm not exactly sure. Shoot the guy in the face with the Mac. Yeah! We end up winning 7,500 to 5,400. My score was 37-2. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more. Peace out.